former Hollyoaks actress turned Oscar winner Rachel Shenton has come a long way since her soap star days. Rachel's film The Silent Child scooped the statuette for the Best Live-Action Short Film at a star-studded Oscars ceremony in Hollywood on Sunday. As she took to the stage at the Dolby Theatre with her fiancé Chris Overton, the actress, from Stoke-on-Trent, used sign language for the star of her film, youngster Maisie Sly, as she delivered her acceptance speech. "I made a promise to our 6-year-old lead actress that I'd sign this speech," Rachel, best known for playing Mitzi Miniver in Hollyoaks, told the audience. "My hands are shaking, so I apologize." She added, "Our movie is about a deaf child being born into a world of silence. It's not exaggerated or sensationalized for the movie. This is happening. Millions of children all over the world live in silence and face communication barriers and particularly access to education." Backstage, she said, "I'm so proud of putting this ability that isn't talked about in front of a huge audience. It's a story that isn't told often, so I'm really proud of that." While Chris, who also starred in Hollyoaks as Liam McAllister, added, "It's just incredible, especially for this subject. It usually gets swept under the carpet, so this is huge for deaf people." Rachel is one of just a few actresses to give their Oscars acceptance speeches in sign language. Jane Fonda signed part of her speech as she accepted the Best Actress award for Coming Home in 1979, as did Louise Fletcher, who signed to her deaf parents when she won Best Actress for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest 3 years earlier. Marlee Matlin, who is deaf, also signed when she won Best Actress for Children of a Lesser God in 1987. The duo's former Hollyoaks co-star Georgie Porter was among those tweeting a message of congratulations following their win. She wrote, "I'm absolutely so bloody-astastic. Well done Rachel Shenton and Overton 54 on the greatest moment ever. #Oscar." Earlier on, Rachel walked the red carpet alongside the film's young star Maisie, who is from Swindon, and also fiancé Chris, who had directed the film. Rachel, dressed in a striking black form-fitting gown, and fiancé Chris each held one of Maisie's hands as they posed on the red carpet. Speaking earlier this week, Rachel said she wants to give hope to thousands of kids by turning her story about a deaf girl into a feature film. The Silent Child tells the tale of 4-year-old Libby, who is taught sign language by a social worker played by Rachel. The 30-year-old was inspired to write the film because of her own experience. When she was 12, her father Jeff went deaf after having chemotherapy and could not hear for the last 18 months of his life. Rachel said, "This is the first film I have written. It's incredibly close to me, so the writing of the story felt natural. People don't know about this subject, so ultimately I wanted people to leave the cinema feeling more educated and to spark a conversation. We are now screening in over 600 cinemas in the US. Now I'm working on the feature film version." In May, Rachel will show the film in Parliament and hopes that sign language will one day be introduced to the national curriculum, a message at the end of the film. Figures show that 78% of deaf children in mainstream schools do not receive additional support. For the sake of authenticity, the title role is played by a deaf girl, Maisie. After a nationwide search and the auditioning of 100 children, the youngster won the part. Rachel said, "She is incredibly natural. She has a strange maturity for a 5-year-old. She's a total joy to be around. We went to the Oscars luncheon with all the nominees and we met Steven Spielberg. That was very surreal. He said, 'Congratulations. Maisie wants to go to Disneyland and see Donald Duck. That's who she is mainly concerned about meeting. She is so unfazed to my everything that is going on. She doesn't understand the enormity of it.'" Rachel started drama and dance lessons at 8 and went on to land small parts in Waterloo Road and Holby City before Hollyoaks came along in 2010 with the role of glamorous schemer Mitzi Miniver. During her 3 years in the Channel 4 soap, Rachel started working with the National Deaf Children's Society. Her fiancé Cute, Chris directed The Silent Child with a £10,000 budget from crowdfunding. She said, "We had 13 crew members and a tiny budget, so we are really proud to even be here.